So again on the Holdan stand here this time with Richard Payne from Panasonic, who's going to give us a little overview of the cameras. They're showing some of the differences, and I believe might end up on a 3D camera at the end as well. Richard, what do we have?
Hello. First of all, I'd like to show you the... I can't remember what it's called. That's typical. You tell me it's live, and all of a sudden I go to pieces. This is the 130.
Yep.
It's 130. There are three cameras, three new camcorders from Panasonic, and they're all based on the same shape and the same look. They have the same sensor and the same lens at the front, but they all have slightly different abilities and different outputs. This is the lowest cost of all of them. So the 130 doesn't have an SDI out, but it does have Firewire out, and HDMI, and they all use the same sensor and lens as the broadcast-approved 250, which we'll come to at the end. So the picture quality is absolutely cracking. In fact, if you weren't shooting on a Sony camcorder, you could probably see how good the pictures on these monitors are. But unfortunately, so the 130, it has this terrific zoom lens, which goes, the 35mm equivalent is from 28mm to 616.
Right.
So you can see on some of the footage which are playing on the screens, you can literally have a big wheel about 20 feet in front of you and get the whole thing in view, or pick out a guy's left eye up on the top of the big wheel. And the first two cameras, the 130 and 160, record to STHC cards, so really low-cost medium. And they have a neat trick that they can record simultaneously.
Right.
So if you want a backup copy, so you can give somebody a copy, you can record to two files at once, or do relay recording, so you go from one and it switches to the other one when it's empty. So, cost of this one, the list price is about $3,100, the street price is under £3,000. So for the money, absolutely cracking camera. Outperforms everything else in the bracket by far. The 160 is an uprated version. It has some other features which the 130 doesn't. Costs a little bit more, a few £100 more, but for that you're getting an SDI output. So Firewire for grown-ups, and we've also got variable frame rate. So you can shoot at full 1080, 50 or 60p, and then play it back at lower frame rates to give you that lovely super smooth slow motion effect. So it's not 720 like your Sony, it's full 1080. There's a firmware update coming for the 160 in the next few weeks, which will give it full 1080, 50p recording ability as well. So it'll be very future-proof. So no SDI. This one has SDI and variable frame rate recording for a few £100 more. Then, the big brother of both of these... Oh, I'm going to... I'll have to butt in a little bit. Is the HPX 250, and this is my favourite of the three, because partly it's the most expensive, but it records to P2. It's been fully broadcast approved for HD production by the BBC. So it's... as a compact camera, to get full BBC approval, it just shows quite how wonderful the pictures are. It has a more sophisticated image processing than its lower cost brothers, which it would have to gain the full broadcast approval. But of course, the main thing is the fact it records onto P2 cards at AVC Intra at 100 megabits. So a very, very high quality codec. Another feature, it has a variable frame rate of the 160, but on P2 it records out at 720 50p or 60p, or up to 720 50p or 60p, because you just couldn't get that data rate onto the higher bitrate format. It also has something called flash band compensation. You've probably seen with your Sony camera, if there are lots of flash guns are going off, the picture breaks up, you get odd interfield effects. And this has an electronic compensation system, so that doesn't happen. So if you're using this on a catwalk or a fashion show where there's lots of flash guns going off, this will iron out the differences between frames. You'll never get the breakup of pictures, which you can normally get with CMOS camcorders. So those are the three brothers, and that is my favourite.
And then this one?
This is a Z10000.
Right.
This is a really unusual camcorder in that it's 3D.
Right.
Two lenses, two sensors, but it's a professional 3D camera, but at a fairly low cost. It's about £2,700. The image quality, considering, is absolutely stunning, because it's got two quarter-inch sensors, and it records a new AVC HD 3D format, where it records the differences between the two lenses. So it's another form of compression. So it records the left eye and the differences between it. So its bitrate works out about 28 megabits a second. you'll also notice it's got a 3D viewfinder, which of course you won't be able to see on there, but we can see. And the 3D viewfinder gives you the confidence to see how you're shooting. Let me just reset this a second. So you can immediately gauge what a 3D picture is going to look like. But for a more professional shooting, I'd turn this off because you can then get this mixed view where you see the difference between the two pictures overlaid, and then you can adjust convergence so you can see exactly where the parallax is. So you can have things coming out of the screen or going back into the screen and make the creative decision yourself about how to do that. Low light performance is excellent. The 2D pictures from this are absolutely fantastic. It's actually a very good 2D camera as well, and this also will shoot at 1080 50p.
Right.
So as a 2D camera, it will outperform most other things at that price range. It will also record onto 2 cards simultaneously, so you've got a backup recording, just if you want to be safe, you can use cheap cards, knowing that one of them will work. Much better to use Panasonic cards, of course. Other features, you've got the 3 rings, which all the cameras share. So you've got zoom, iris, and focus. And you don't have to switch them in a menu. You can immediately get to any of those 3. So, considering the money this costs, it's producing some cracking pictures. And we have over here, we've got a 3D screen, a broadcast a reference monitor plasma with some 3D glasses. So if anybody wants to come and see us at the show, we can show them exactly what the pictures it can produce are. So those are the ones I wanted to talk about.
An amazing range of cameras. If people want to find out some more information about these, the 3D and the other ones, where can they find that?
If they come to, obviously, on the days the show's on, come and see us and talk to us and actually play with them. But after that, the Holdan website, if you come to the Holdan website, we've got a lot of detail on all of these camcorders, pricing, accessories, everything else you need to know. There are some stunning show offers on at the moment. At the moment, there's 10% off for the 3 days of the show, the HPX 250. So it makes it a terribly attractive package.
Thank you, Richard. Go and have a look at the website for more information, and obviously if you're seeing this and the show's still on, come and have a play. Keep track of everything we're doing and all the other videos that we've shot at Holdan at broadcastshow.com.